That's sports with a Z, safe.com. Or go to nationalusportsradio.com and click on the Sports Safe banner. You can also email them at info@sportsafe.com. Give them a call at 1-800-970-3886. Sports Safe. Play safe. Create the vibe. Create the movement. Create the culture. With Houston's premium streetwear clothing brand, Mad Culture. Offering t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and accessories. Follow the brand on social media at Mad Culture Brand. To purchase your Mad Culture gear, visit www.madculturebrand.com and use the code MADSPORTS for 20% off your next purchase. madculturebrand.com.
You're listening to Kennie Long NYSR. National Youth Sports Radio.
What I got, you got to give it to your mama. What I got, you got to give it to your
This is really the second I've heard of this. I heard a little bit of it. I didn't know it was passed. So you're telling me that Illinois has passed something through legislation that states no football from high school down.
In Illinois, it was passed for 12 and under. They didn't specify football. They said no contact sports can be competed in or performed by anyone under the age of 12.
Okay. So I don't think that's good. There's so much. I think Texas and Arizona won't be a place that it'll touch. It might affect other places like small towns like that, but I don't think it's going to reach this far. I just think that it's too big. It's a moneymaker, and it's not just a moneymaker. It's a developer, and once college coaches get a hold of this, and they really truly hear what's going to.
So, but now the word, it was just put out. California is now drafting station at the same level.
That's crazy to me. I get it. I get that there's a lot of concussions. I get that there's, it's a dangerous sport, but there's also precautions, and it's developing just like anything. So I think getting rid of a contact sport is going to really affect a lot of people.
So, and like I said, you haven't heard anything like this in Arizona popping up. There's no talk about it, but I was surprised that Illinois got it off the ground and passed without any kind of figures. Like it reached nobody until after it was done.
Yeah, I haven't heard any news about it. I'm an avid ESPN guy. I'm hiding that, but I haven't seen any kind of reports like that. I did see a story about it a while ago, but I thought it, usually when something's brought in front of legislation, it should be top news. Does the line recover?
Yeah, I had to take you off my speaker there. You were cutting out a little bit there. Yeah. Illinois got it through. Maryland, right afterwards, when the story broke about Illinois, and it has not made, by the way, mainstream sports radio, sports talk. I've heard a handful of small sports talk radio shows that have talked about it, but very, very briefly. I'm just wondering what's going to happen from here if this starts to gain some momentum. If Maryland passes theirs, if California goes down theirs, if California passes, that's got to make mainstream.
You would think so.
Yeah, because one of my questions about that, obviously you've got the Snoop Youth Football League there in California. Is Snoop Dogg paying attention to this? Is this something he's going to start voicing against? Is this something he's going to look at and go against it?
I would think so. I mean, that's going to affect him hugely because he travels the world and plays top talent everywhere. So it'll be a bad thing for a lot of people.
Now, Richie, you have been in the high school ranks coaching. How would this, if it passed in Arizona, how would this affect you as a high school coach?
Well, you wouldn't be able to see the top talent around. I mean, you wouldn't know about half the So, I mean, a lot of these coaches that get to scout early and see what talent's coming up, they're not going to be able to do that. So now they're going to have to rely on being a good coach and developing kids and, doing it the old-fashioned way that, people used to do it back in the day. So I just think it would be a hard transition. I don't think people would want to coach as much.
No, they probably wouldn't because, like you said, it's going to affect the college level as well. I mean, like Nick Saban. Right now, he just sits up. I guarantee he watches film, not just at the high school level. Don't tell me he's not getting film from youth level as well and keeping an eye on some of these kids that are coming up.
Yeah, and the only way he would be able to do that if this passed everywhere is flag football. So I just don't think I mean, if that's drafted in California, people are going to know about it, and it's, I think people are going to start putting their foot down, and it'll start being national news.
All right, Richie Martin out of Arizona is part of the Brett Cooper Jr. Academic All-American Games, one of the coaches there, one of the helpful organizers of the Brett Cooper Games. Thanks for calling in, Richie, and giving us your thoughts on this. This is something I think we're definitely need to pay attention to because I'm a little concerned with how this is gaining a little momentum, and I'm wondering what these legislators are doing if they don't have anything else better to do.
Yep, and that's probably what the problem is. Is there are people getting injured in Illinois more than they are in other places? Is that why this is passed?
I have no idea. Like I said, this came out of nowhere. I mean, it literally just showed up one minute that legislation was passed banning contact sports for any child under the age of 12.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're I don't know. One of the state representatives might have had a kid with some kind of injury. Something's up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen stats on every state as far as concussions go and the impact of all that. I only know where I'm at. And, like remembering now, I think we had 2 concussions during our high school season. Which has went down. I mean, compared to the way it used to be. So I don't protecting the kids. I mean, they're just going to pick another sport, and it's something else is going to happen. I mean, it's just. I don't know. I'm at a complete loss. I saw you on the radio show, and I was kind of intrigued, and I thought it would be interesting to call you.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call, Richie. Your thoughts are always helpful, especially you're up there in the ranks. So it's something that I think you'll definitely be paying attention about now that you know.
I appreciate it, Kenny. Thank you, and I'm going to reach out to Snoop right now and send an email and see if we can get him on the phone.
Sounds great. Thanks, Richie.
All right.
Bye-bye. 979-353-4421. That's the number to call if you want to be a part of this discussion. What do you think? Those of you that are listening on the Facebook Live, you're not going to hear the callers. I had to cut that off for some reason. Something happened with the speakers here. But if you go to NYSR National Youth Sports Radio and listen live there, you can go to Facebook. You'll be able to click on the link there as well. You go to my Twitter, at Kenny Long NYSR. That's KENNIE Long NYSR. Click on the radio link there, and you'll be able to listen live on NYSR here to the show, the Kenny Long Show. So that was Richie Martin, who's out of Arizona. He's a high school coach. He coaches in the Brett Cooper Jr. Academic All-American Games. Nothing out of Arizona right now. In fact, he's heard very little about it, but agrees that this is something that doesn't make sense. I think it's Yafel Allen says, you hit it on the head. They don't have anything else better to do. And that's what I'm wondering. Where did this come from? Why are we so concerned? Why are these legislators so concerned about youth sports now? All of a sudden it comes out of nowhere. So if you're just joining us once again, we're discussing the current trend of legislation that has occurred. You've got the state of Illinois has passed legislation banning any child under the age of 12 for competing or being allowed to perform in any kind of contact sport. In Maryland, legislation is being adopted, is being addressed to ban 14 or under from being able to play tackle football. And now, in the latest, the state of California apparently is trying to start writing legislation banning tackle football for anybody outside of high school age. These are the only three states that I've heard of so far that this is occurring. But in the last week to 2 weeks, this has been a topic. It's getting around the small radio shows like mine, like Voice Sports. They're talking about it. We're talking about it. We've taken notice. It has not hit the mainstream media. Nine 353-4421. That's the number to call. Nothing else better to do than to go after sports. And we're talking about what's going to happen at the high school level, the college level. We touched on it earlier when I started the show. Some of you that are just joining may have not heard me talk about this. These programs, you get the adults out of the way. You take the adults out of the equation. And these youth sports programs were started for a reason. They were started for a reason, and that was to give kids an outlet, to give them something other than staying at home or getting in trouble, getting out on the streets. Bring in the adults. These adult coaches, they become mentors. They become some sort of a figure for these youth to look up to go to have somebody to go to bounce things off of, to question. Youth sports are teaching these kids about teamwork. Adults who are working. Every time you show up to the office, it's all about teamwork. You got to be able to work with other departments. You got to be able to work with other people. Competing in youth sports in these youth programs teaches that at an early age.